Yeah.
But you're giving all these compliments to us, dude. The same thing goes for you. How many people on this earth have gotten a laugh from somebody else? Who could do it professionally?
I mean, a lot more people than have
1%.
gotten in the NFL. Way more people. It's so much easier to get a laugh than get into the NFL. I mean, you guys have fucking done crazy shit.
Hey, how many comedians would you say make six figures a year?
398. No. How many comedians make six figures a year?
Yeah.
I would say six figures now with podcasting and being able to monetize on YouTube. I would say we're probably at, if let's say we had 100,000 people doing comedy, right? Which it's probably less than that, but just easy. I would say at least 20,000 of them are making six figures. And then I think,
20,000?
You think it's too high?
I think that's
I don't know.
high
It
as
depends
fuck.
let's talk strictly comedy, selling out shows, touring, doing specials.
Selling out shows, touring, doing specials seems like a lot of people, but it's actually really, well, now anybody can put out a special on YouTube, but let's just say,
But selling, making
let's
six
say
figures.
selling out shows, comedy clubs and or theaters, that's the actual barometer, because it's like whether you get on TV or have a special is irrelevant. It's if you are selling the tickets or not is what matters and is the barometer kind of for us. It's like our professionals, like if you can sell out a theater, of 1,000 seats or more, it's like you're doing very, very well.
So how many think are doing that on any given year?
That I think in any given year, honestly, truly, because it feels like a lot, but I think truly maybe like 100 in the whole.
That was the number that was in my head.
In the whole country.
It's got to be a couple hundred.
Because you have the Kevin
most.
Harts and those of the world. I mean, those guys are in the stratosphere. But really, there's only for comedians, there are about 10 arena acts, right? You think there's so many, but it's like 10. It's like Kevin Hart, Sebastian Maniscalco, Nate Bargatze now from Nashville's getting up there, there's not that many that are Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, big acts. But then it's like after that, it's like, Andrew Schultz. But it's like already, it's like there's not that many more. So I think there's only like 100 that could sell out. Because you think that people are bigger than they are. You think like, oh, so-and-so's got a movie or got a big TV show, won an Emmy or is on SNL. And then you'll talk to the club or theater manager. They're like, oh, so-and-so was here last week. They didn't sell dick. They sold like 30% of the room out. And so I don't know what the reasons are why that happens. There's many, many different variables. But I think that selling tickets is always what my goal was. Is like I was like, I just got to sell. That's what gives comedians the longevity. It's like ticket sales, because the TV show can go away, the podcast can go away, but if the fans are going to come every time you come to their city, you're golden, dude. That's all you got to fucking worry about is live performing, and that also is the separator, right? Like anybody can put a YouTube special out, anybody can have a TikTok, anybody can do that, and anybody can get big doing that. But when they come to see you and you can kill live. That's the thing. And then when they come back, the biggest test is the second year. What is your new material? What is your new hour? And if you can, kill again, then you start to become like, okay, now I got this shit. Anybody can, everybody, we could all write 10 killer minutes right here. And then you can just keep doing that and throw that out on TikTok and get 20 million followers and then sell out a fucking theater tour. But you can do that once. It's about the guys who can do it again and again and again. That's like the difference maker.
Right. When you started comedy, how inviting was that culture? Was it tough or was it?
No, not inviting at all. No,
really?
Not at all. Especially in New York. No way, dude. They didn't, you have to, the difference is when you start in New York City, okay, you have to go through the open mic scene like you have to do in any city. The key difference is when you go through the open mic scene in other cities, it's it's audience members. It's like people who don't know, who are just going out for a show and they're like, oh, this is new joke night or this is open mic night. So it's a difference. When you go in New York, it's other comics who are in the crowd. So those other comics, the last thing they want you to do is succeed because they're like, you're my competition, fuck you. They're also never listening to you because we're worried about writing our own jokes and we're on stage next. And their minds are so dark that when you get a laugh, you have to question, is this actually funny? Or did I just say something that is so disgusting that it made these psychopaths laugh? So, and also the best of the best for comedies, at least when I started, it's Nashville and Chicago and LA, all huge scenes, but New York was the big scene. It's like you have to cut through so many motherfuckers to get even on stage that it's like if the ones that can make it through there, like you've almost made it like nationally then, because it's like, it's a lot easier to get out of even great cities like Boston, they have great comics there, but it's easier to get through that scene because it's just so much smaller. Where in New York, you have to get through you might have to get through 5,000 guys to get on stage. Like it's a lot of guys. And I know, I know we all we're not batting eye at 5,000 guys. That's a Friday night for us. Yeah. But when it's comedy, it's hard to make it out of here. But that's also another reason why I don't want to leave, because I think there is something subconscious where I'm like, that's all, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. I think that it's not as prevalent as it was when he sang the song, but I still think there is something about New York where it's like the top people in every field are, at least some of them are here always. And so there's the hardest path, the most resistance is definitely here.
Yeah, I know when we had Nate on the first time, he talked about that, just the grind of being in New York.
Dude, look back at old pictures of Nate Bargatze when he was grinding here. He looked like a lesbian.
Out flyers
he literally looked like a full lesbian woman. That's what New York does.
Well, he's faded up. You
Dude, I was going to say, he went from literally looking like a full lesbian woman to he's like one of the most handsome men to ever do comedy now, because he beat New York. But it took a toll on him physically. I mean, he looked like an Amish lesbian. Like he had bangs. It was bizarre what Nate looked. And then he came out and now is one of the biggest comics in the world and is one of the most, look at Salt and Pepper. He's a gorgeous guy.
Well, yeah, because now he's living in a state like Tennessee.
Exactly.
He's making his way over there and getting out of New York. He's basically transitioning.
But he did it right. Nate wouldn't be Nate, I don't think, unless he came through the grit and grind in New York. He had to.